Hey, I'm Dave Bowles with Colonial Harley. Welcome to another episode of Shifted State. Today we've got Tim Pegram's 2017 Harley-Davidson Roadster. We're going to be putting the clip-on bars on. It's going to give you that aggressive feel for cornering and riding. Stay tuned and watch as we show you how it's done.
I ain't gonna lie, dude. You're better at it than I am.
Okay. Alright guys, first step, save the paint. So protection is the first thing we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and put some covers on the tank and on the fender before we start pulling them apart. Alright, next what we're going to do is go ahead and take the controls off. Alright, so we've got the handlebar off, we've got the controls down. Make sure they're still hanging by the retainer so they're not putting a lot of stress on the cables and lines. Next thing we're going to do is remove the top triple clamp. Alright, next what we're going to do is we've removed the stem nut, we've loosened up our pinch bolts, but before we pull this top tree, some models you may want to slide your tank back just to get a little bit more clearance before we remove the bracket. Then we're going to take the magic wand and knock up the triple tree. Then remove the retainer. Now we're going to go ahead and install our mounts, making sure that our bar and shield is facing out. And put some blue Loctite on the screws and just put them in finger tight to get them started. And now we can reinstall our tree. Now that we've got our top triple tree back on, we're going to go ahead and leave our pinch bolts loose and reinstall our steering stem nut, leaving this loose so that we can continue with the installation, but set our steering head bearing fall away when we are complete. And now we're just going to reinstall our bar spacer so that we can put the speedometer back on. All right, now that we've got those torqued 25 foot-pounds, we'll go ahead and slide the tank back into position so we can start putting our bar ends in. So now we'll go ahead and install our bar end and controls. Easy cheats just to slide it back in. Take note of your alignment slots and arrow. And we're going to go ahead and put some blue Loctite on the pinch bolts. And we're just going to snug them up. When we do our final torques, these will be 120 inch-pounds and 35 foot-pound on the actual clamps. Before we remount the master cylinder, we're going to have to flip this around so that we have clearance here on the front fork. And now that we've done our left side, we'll go ahead and do the same for the right. Now that we've gotten the bars all fitted up to the rider, we'll go ahead and retorque our clamps, 35 foot-pounds and 120 inch-pounds on our pinch bolts. So now that we've got that all together, everything's mounted, we'll go ahead and finish up our final torques on our controls, making sure everything's good and tight. We'll go ahead and do our final torques on the pinch bolts for the triple tree, 35 foot-pounds, 25 foot-pounds on the initial, 96 inch-pounds on the secondary, and then we'll go ahead and finish our install by bleeding the brakes and doing our neck bearing adjustment. Stay tuned, because up next it hits the road and into the corner.